It was one of those perfect mornings that felt like a dream. The sun was gentle as it rose over the sleepy village, casting a warm, golden light across the quiet beach. Gentle waves rolled in one by one, each leaving a shimmering trail across the smooth sand. Sea breezes whispered softly, stirring the reeds and making the seashells sparkle as they lay scattered along the shore. Above, a few white seabirds glided peacefully, their distant cries blending with the rhythmic hush of the ocean. Sam and Emma walked side by side at the water's edge, their bare feet sinking into the wet, cool sand. They loved these early morning walks. Every so often, one of them would stop and pick up a colorful seashell or a smooth pebble, admiring its shape before tucking it into a pocket. The ocean had a way of surprising them with small treasures, and they liked to imagine the journeys each shell had traveled before reaching this very beach. That morning, however, a special glint caught their eyes, a bright flash of glass half hidden among a tangle of seaweed and stones. Curious, Sam bent down to brush away the damp sand, revealing an old bottle. Its glass was worn smooth by the sea, and its surface glimmered faintly in the light. Emma knelt closer too, her eyes widening as she saw that the bottle was sealed with a dark cork and contained something glowing faint blue inside. Together, they carefully eased the bottle free. The glass felt strangely warm, and they could see tiny bubbles swirling inside like dancing lights. Peeking closer, they noticed a rolled-up parchment tucked within, its edges rimmed with the same gentle blue glow. The waves lapped at their feet as they exchanged an eager look. This was no ordinary find. The air around them felt charged with a quiet magic, as if the ocean itself had sent this mysterious gift to draw them into an adventure. Holding the glowing bottle between them, Sam and Emma felt their hearts quicken with excitement, ready to follow wherever this discovery might lead. With careful hands, Sam and Emma worked together to ease the dark cork from the bottle's neck. The cork came free with a soft pop, and a shimmering mist unfurled into the salty air, swirling around them like tiny blue fireflies. In that moment, the parchment slipped into Sam's hands. Its surface was smooth and glowing faintly, and as he unrolled it, intricate drawings appeared across the page, winding currents, tiny islands, and a crown etched in delicate gold ink at the center. The map sparkled as if kissed by ocean spray, and strange markings glimmered along its edges. Emma tilted her head thoughtfully, tracing one symbol with her finger. "This looks like a trail," she whispered, eyes bright with excitement. Sam nodded in agreement, feeling a thrill stir in his chest as the waves whispered at their feet. Before they could say more, the blue mist rose into the air and began to spiral outward like a ribbon of light. It danced toward the ocean, swirling faster and faster until it formed a shimmering doorway just above the gentle waves. Beyond this watery gate, they could see a world of deep blue light and flowing shapes that glowed like jewels. Hand in hand, Sam and Emma stepped toward the glowing portal, feeling the mist wrap around them like a friendly breeze. The sound of seabirds and surf grew distant as the light pulled them in, and a gentle rush of water enveloped them. Soft currents embraced them like warm hands, and suddenly they were floating weightlessly in a beautiful undersea world. Fish with scales like polished silver glided by, and trails of light sparkled as tiny creatures circled playfully around them. It was a place unlike anything they had ever seen, an enchanted ocean realm waiting to be explored. And as Sam and Emma drifted deeper into this magical kingdom, they felt the pull of a grand adventure rising in their hearts. As Sam and Emma floated gently through the glowing water, they began to notice shapes moving in the distance, small, round figures with big, friendly eyes and shimmering scales. These tiny creatures had smooth, pastel-colored skin in gentle blues, greens, and pinks, and they glided through the currents as easily as fish. Some carried tiny pearl lanterns. Others wore seashell hats perched jauntily on their heads. The children watched in awe as the tiny beings gathered around them, chattering in light, melodious voices. Suddenly, one of them, a green-skinned creature with a tiny golden clock strapped to its back, swam closer. Its bright eyes sparkled kindly as it spoke, though Sam and Emma could only catch the gentle rhythm of its watery language. To their surprise, one of the creatures produced a shimmering seashell and held it up like a conch horn. A soft hum filled the ocean, and the melody somehow made sense in Sam and Emma's minds. The green-skinned creature spoke again this time. They could understand. "Welcome," it said warmly, bowing its small head. "We are the gatekeepers of the deep, You have followed the light of the magic map into our realm. More tiny gatekeepers gathered around them, their pearl lanterns glowing brighter as they swam in circles, welcoming their visitors. Emma grinned and waved, feeling as if they had stepped into a storybook. Sam looked around at the glowing coral towers and swirling schools of fish that surrounded them, amazed. You have come at a special time, the green gatekeeper continued. Our kingdom is losing its light because the Pearl of Tides was stolen. Only brave explorers can help restore it. The other gatekeepers nodded eagerly, their eyes shining with hope. Sam and Emma exchanged an excited glance. Deep in their hearts, they knew they were meant to help. The currents wrapped around them like a gentle embrace as they prepared to follow their new friends deeper into this enchanted world, ready for whatever mysteries awaited. With gentle swirls of light, the gatekeepers led Sam and Emma deeper into the ocean kingdom. Every turn revealed a new wonder, arches of shimmering coral glowing pink and blue, schools of fish that sparkled like jewels, and graceful sea turtles drifting slowly past. Soft rays of light filtered down from the surface, painting shimmering patterns on the ocean floor. As they swam, the green-skinned gatekeeper spoke again, his voice like a gentle tide. Long ago, our kingdom was bright and balanced, he explained. But then a clever and greedy octopus named Ozo stole the Pearl of Tides. Without its magic, the ocean currents have grown restless, and dark shadows have begun to creep into our home. Sam and Emma listened closely, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and determination. Around them, the gatekeepers nodded solemnly, their tiny pearl lanterns glowing more dimly as if to show their sadness. We need you, said another gatekeeper, a tiny blue one with bright fins and a silvery belt. Our maps say the pearl is hidden deep within Ozo's maze of seaweed caves. Many have tried to retrieve it, but Ozo guards it fiercely. Emma thought carefully, her eyes glinting with ideas. Sam clenched his fists with resolve, ready for the challenge ahead. The gatekeepers began to swim in circles, creating a glowing path to follow. Bubbles sparkled around them like tiny stars. Together, the green gatekeeper assured them, you can succeed. Will you help us save our home? Sam and Emma nodded without hesitation, feeling a surge of courage wash over them. Side by side, they followed the gatekeepers as they glided toward the dark green forests of seaweed in the distance, the very edge of Ozo's maze, knowing that their true quest was about to begin. Sam and Emma followed the gatekeepers until the light began to fade and the water grew cooler. Ahead of them stretched a dense forest of tall, swaying seaweed, their dark green fronds twisting and turning like slow dancers in the currents. Tiny fish darted nervously between the leaves, and eerie shadows flickered across the ocean floor. The gatekeepers paused at the forest edge, their glowing lanterns casting pools of gentle light. This is Ozo's maze, whispered the green gatekeeper, his voice hushed. The Pearl of Tides lies somewhere at its heart. Be careful, the paths shift with the currents, and Ozo's traps are hidden well. Sam took a deep breath, his eyes shining with determination. Emma nodded, her hands reaching out to part the waving strands of seaweed. Together they glided into the maze, the gatekeeper's tiny lights twinkling faintly behind them like distant stars. Inside, the forest felt alive. Seaweed brushed against their arms like gentle hands, and every so often a strange clicking echoed through the water, making their hearts pound. Sam led the way carefully, moving slowly and keeping his eyes sharp. Emma followed close behind, pausing every so often to check the glowing map they had brought, matching its glowing lines with the twisting paths they encountered. As they went deeper, the ocean around them grew darker and more tangled. The paths split and crossed, making it easy to get lost. Suddenly, Emma felt a tug at her ankle. A vine had curled around it. Sam quickly bent down, his hands moving carefully as he unwrapped the stubborn vine. They exchanged relieved smiles and pressed onward, knowing they had to stay brave. With each careful step, Sam and Emma felt a growing sense of purpose. They had already passed their first small trial, and they knew that the real adventure was only just beginning. As Sam and Emma pushed deeper into the maze, the water grew strangely still, and the light dimmed to a soft blue glow. Suddenly, they came to a small clearing, surrounded by towering curtains of seaweed. At the center of this clearing sat a circular ring of huge clamshells, their polished surfaces shimmering faintly with swirling colors. Curious, Emma glided closer. Tiny pearls dotted the clamshells like scattered stars, and carved on each shell was a different symbol: a fish, a wave, a starfish, and a spiral. Sam brushed his fingers along one shell, and it responded with a gentle chime, sending a ripple of sound through the water. Before they could move on, the seaweed behind them twined together, forming a green wall that blocked their way. They were trapped. It was clear they had to solve this puzzle to pass. Emma frowned thoughtfully as she studied the glowing map, then glanced back at the clams. The green gatekeeper had warned them that cleverness would be their key. Sam listened carefully to the chiming sounds as he touched each shell again, realizing they created a melody. Working together, Sam and Emma matched the clams to the shapes on the map. Fish, then starfish, then spiral, then wave. One by one, they pressed the shells in that order, their hands working quickly and carefully. A deep, harmonious tone filled the water as the last shell chimed. With a gentle shudder, the seaweed wall in front of them parted like a curtain, revealing a glowing tunnel deeper into the maze. Smiling at each other, Sam and Emma felt a spark of pride. They had passed this tricky puzzle together, and they knew that every challenge was bringing them one step closer to recovering the Pearl of Tides. With the shell puzzle behind them, Sam and Emma followed the glowing tunnel deeper into the maze. The water felt cooler here, and faint currents pulled at their legs. Every so often, a distant, eerie whisper tickled their ears, making them glance around nervously. Suddenly, they glided into a narrow passage lined with jagged rocks. Soft light revealed dozens of long, silvery shapes weaving through the cracks, eels with glowing blue eyes. The eels slid silently between the stones like shimmering ribbons. They weren't aggressive, but their narrow bodies blocked the way, swirling slowly as if forming a moving gate. Sam held up a hand to slow Emma, his brow furrowed. The gatekeepers had mentioned that cleverness and patience would be needed too. Rushing might cause the eels to panic. Emma nodded, and together they paused, waiting for the patterns of light that danced across the eels' bodies. As they watched carefully, Sam noticed that the eels moved in a gentle rhythm, like ocean waves rising and falling. Emma pointed toward a small gap that appeared when the eels swayed left. Holding hands, they glided smoothly through at just the right moment, careful not to touch any of the glowing creatures. When they reached the other side, they let out a silent sigh of relief. The eels' whispers faded behind them as they moved onward into a shimmering tunnel beyond. Even though they were tired, they felt a quiet pride stirring in their hearts. Every challenge was teaching them to look closely, listen carefully, and stay brave together. And deep within the ocean, past glowing tunnels and gentle currents, they sensed they were one step closer to finding the treasure that would save the kingdom, the Pearl of Tides. With the shell puzzle behind them, Sam and Emma followed the glowing tunnel deeper into the maze. The water felt cooler here, and faint currents pulled at their legs. Every so often, a distant, eerie whisper tickled their ears, making them glance around nervously. Suddenly, they glided into a narrow passage, lined with jagged rocks. Soft light revealed dozens of long, silvery shapes, weaving through the cracks, eels with glowing blue eyes. The eels slid silently between the stones like shimmering ribbons. They weren't aggressive, but their narrow bodies blocked the way, swirling slowly as if forming a moving gate. Sam held up a hand to slow Emma, his brow furrowed. The gatekeepers had mentioned that cleverness and patience would be needed too. Rushing might cause the eels to panic. Emma nodded, and together they paused, waiting for the patterns of light that danced across the eels' bodies. As they watched carefully, Sam noticed that the eels moved in a gentle rhythm, like ocean waves, rising and falling. Emma pointed toward a small gap that appeared when the eels swayed left. Holding hands, they glided smoothly through at just the right moment, careful not to touch any of the glowing creatures. When they reached the other side, they let out a silent sigh of relief. The eels' whispers faded behind them as they moved onward into a shimmering tunnel beyond. Even though they were tired, they felt a quiet pride stirring in their hearts. Every challenge was teaching them to look closely, listen carefully, and stay brave together. And deep within the ocean, past glowing tunnels and gentle currents, they sensed they were one step closer to finding the treasure that would save the kingdom, the Pearl of Tides. With the Pearl of Tides cradled carefully between them, Sam and Emma followed the glowing currents back through the maze. Every step felt lighter as they swam, and the ocean around them began to hum with gentle energy, as if sensing the pearl's return. As they emerged into the heart of the underwater kingdom, the gatekeepers rushed forward, their eyes sparkling with joy. They hovered in a shimmering circle around Sam and Emma, tiny hands reaching toward the glowing pearl. The ocean lightened as schools of fish returned, darting through the glowing coral towers like living jewels. Together, Sam and Emma held the pearl of tides high, and the gatekeepers began to sing a sweet, wordless melody that echoed across the water. The pearl answered with a soft pulse of blue light, glowing brighter and brighter until the whole undersea world was bathed in its gentle glow. Cracks in the seabed smoothed over, dark currents turned warm and clear, and tiny plankton twinkled like tiny stars. "Thank you," the green gatekeeper said warmly, as the lanterns on his back burned bright again. "With your courage and clever hearts, you've brought balance back to our home." Sam and Emma felt a joyful lightness as they watched the ocean come alive with color, silver fish swirling like dancers, playful dolphins leaping between arches of coral, and sea anemones blooming like tiny fireworks. The gatekeepers swam happily around them, their scales glimmering as they circled Sam and Emma one last time. And as the ocean sang its gentle song of gratitude, Sam and Emma felt a quiet sense of pride. They had proven that friendship, teamwork, and a brave spirit could light up even the darkest of places. With the pearl of tides restored and the ocean kingdom glowing peacefully, Sam and Emma felt a gentle pull, as if the water itself was guiding them home. Soft currents carried them upward, swirling in slow circles that felt like a gentle embrace. Colorful fish and glowing jellyfish glided alongside, as if wishing them a safe journey back. As they rose toward the surface, the blue light slowly melted into golden sunlight. Soon they felt the ocean breeze on their faces again, and found themselves standing barefoot on their familiar beach. The warm sand was just as they had left it, and the morning sun sparkled across the gentle waves. Sam glanced at Emma, and they both smiled, feeling a wonderful sense of calm and happiness. The glass bottle that had started their adventure was still there, tucked between the rocks. Only this time, it was empty. Its cork lay beside it, and the parchment was nowhere to be seen. The world around them felt brighter somehow, as if the ocean had kept a little of its magic in their hearts. Sam and Emma knew that they had experienced something truly special, an adventure that would stay with them forever. As they left the beach, tiny shells glimmered in their pockets, and the gentle sound of the waves followed them like a secret song. Together, they walked home, knowing that whenever they needed courage or friendship, they could close their eyes and remember their magical journey under the sea.